everybody, it's Melissa. This is the most excited that I've been for a video, and I honestly kind of feel a little bit bad because I unboxed this fragrance before. Like, typically I do an unboxing video, but the second I saw this thing come in, I was tearing through the box and I already applied it on my wrist and I made it my scent of the day, literally in the span of the past 5 minutes. So let me show you this just to kind of recap. This is the newest fragrance from day 3, ESCÁNDALO, okay? And I know it says EDP here, but when I was talking to the owner, Vanessa, she said that this was actually an error. It's actually an extrait de parfum. So the bottle that I have is the EDP. It's the EDP labeling, but it is an extrait fragrance. And the fragrance that I do have, this juice, it's still an extrait. Again, just an error with, I think, the labeling and whatnot. But if you guys remember a video that I did back in March where I went to Arizona to hang out with day 3, and I have this video on my channel. I have a YouTube short of it, and then I think I even have a full video of me trying it. But I remember Mike was like, hey, I'm gonna be releasing a new fragrance. This is what I'm working on. It's only about 80% or 90% finished, but it's not complete yet. He gives me 2 test strips. One of them has this guava smell in it, and the other one, I think it was just like this beautiful vanilla. And he organized it in a way where he said, okay, you have to put the guava one in front, and then he bent the other test strip behind it, and he's like, you have to kind of waft it in your face like this. And if you guys remember that video, I was blown away with the scent. So I've been waiting for this. I even told him, I'm like, yo, this might be a wild request, but I want the first bottle of this fragrance. And like, we were laughing about it and stuff. And I get a DM and they're like, you're gonna get the first bottle of it. And I'm like, holy shit. And by the way, this is not a sponsored video. Okay, I need to make that clear. This is not a sponsored video. But I applied this on my wrist and it smells so damn good. The final product of this fragrance, I have been salivating for the past 5 minutes. Look at the sprayer, first and foremost, all right? I don't even know if you guys can see the sprayer in the thing. Oh man, I want to have that on me. Let me see if it could stick on my, I should have at least like put my arm there again, but dude, that's the 5th spray I've done of this fragrance so far. So, Escándalo, from what I remember, I think Escándalo is Spanish for scandal. I might be a scholar here, all right? I might be a scholar here, but from what I remember, he said that this fragrance was inspired by this dance called the bachata. And apparently it's pretty, it's a scandalous. If you've ever seen the bachata, it's sexy, it's scandalous. Like, you and your partner are just like really enveloped in each other, right? So when people see 2 people dancing like this, it's like, ooh, it's a little steamy, it's hot, right? So when I was smelling the guava for the fragrance the first time, I was like, dude, this is the most realistic guava. And I can attest right now, it literally smells like a real guava. And I have yet, I've been talking about fragrances for the past 2.5 years or so. And after all this time, I have never smelled a realistic guava fragrance. I have a cousin that has a guava tree in his backyard. And my nanay, whenever we go to the Philippines and stuff, back in 2019, we all went as a family and she had a guava tree. And they took some guavas, they sliced them for us, and it smells like that. No joke. I have literally, my salivary glands have been going crazy. And I don't know if this is deja vu of me saying this. Maybe I mentioned this in another video, but if your salivary glands are acting up when you're smelling a fragrance, that fragrance cannot possibly be ass. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're kind of freaky like that, right? Where you smell a fragrance and it smells bad, but you're like, ooh, like your body's telling you like it. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? But for me, whenever I've had that reaction to a fragrance, it's always been a really good fragrance. The 3 that I've ever gotten that reaction with is La Nuit de l'Homme, which is interesting because first of all, it's not a gourmand fragrance. Bonnie, which is their mango fragrance, and this scent. Now, I'm sure there might be a couple more, but these are the 3 that stand out the most. But right now, it's starting to dry down on my skin. And again, after I applied it here, I did 1 behind each ear and the back of my neck. And there's just the perfect amount of sweetness in this fragrance, just mixing with the guava right now, that is so beautiful. Now, this is marketed as unisex fragrance. I truly believe if you're somebody that really just wants to get ate down, you throw on something like ESCÁNDALO, you will be smelling sexy and delicious. That's just point blank period what this fragrance smells like. I don't want to be too quick to dethrone Bonnie because I love that scent. And it's interesting because Philosophia was my favorite from this brand. And then when I tried Bonnie on my skin, I'm like, yo, this thing's really good. But this to me is a bit more suitable for the weather I live in because it's typically warm year round, right? And the guava is kind of like, if you never had guava, it is a little bit more like it's a citrusy fruit, right? It could be a little bit acidic. So when you live somewhere where it's warm and then you have like an acidic, fresh fragrance, and then that heat kind of helps it turn a bit sweet, it's really, it balances out the scent really nicely. But ESCÁNDALO already kind of has that sweetness pulling into the fragrance. It's so well balanced. And I truly believe, y'all, of course, like, get a sample of it first. If you want to try this fragrance, I'm not going to go say, hey, y'all should blind buy this right now, blah, 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 blah. Go ahead and grab a sample of it. But when you're using the sample, just keep in mind that you are not going to get the same amount of spray from the bottle. So when you get the sample, you got to spray it more than you normally would so that it can equate to one spray of the full size. But what I can guarantee you right now, even though it hasn't been over 8 hours since I tried this fragrance, I know for a fact it's going to have longevity. I know that it's going to last over 8 hours. And what's interesting is because, you know, the test strip that I tried this fragrance on, well, the incomplete version of the fragrance, while I was in that Airbnb for the next couple days, those things were still popping off. Okay, so performance here is really not going to be an issue. But I do have a discount code if you decide to get a full-size bottle for 15% off. It's just my name, Melissa. I'll have the information for that in the comment section below. It's going to be pinned. It's also going to be in the description box as well. Okay, of course, y'all buy where you're comfortable, but if you want to support the channel, I appreciate that. Okay, but oh damn, what this, it's so interesting because before this video, I literally was just kind of like sitting here quiet, and this fragrance was just around me, and I was like, this thing is so good. And here's the amazing part is that this is a fragrance that I could see being worn in the summer, specifically summer nights. Like when, you know, when you're at the beach and you're about to get the bonfire going and the sun is setting, right? The sun is setting on the horizon and it's golden hour, right? And you're wearing something like this and it takes you into the night, and then maybe there's like music, there's dancing kind of going on at the beach or whatever, and it's like a summer fling, it's sexy, it's just, oh, like that is, like this fragrance, when you smell it, it's so easy to envision scenarios where you would wear it. And I always love fragrances that can do that, where when I smell it, a visual comes into my head immediately. It's not something that, oh yeah, you know, okay, like I could, yeah, like I could gift somebody that, or it's just like an easy blind buy. Not that there's anything wrong with those, because you know I love those fragrances. I always recommend them. But it is special when you're smelling a fragrance that can literally, it makes your mind work and takes you on a journey while you're just visualizing it when you're smelling it. And it brings about all your other senses, right? So to me, ESCÁNDALO is definitely, if you were to wear this, let's say you go to a club and maybe it's Latin night and you're wearing this fragrance and you can dance, oh my, you're just, first of all, you need to teach me how to dance because that is a weakness of mine. But you are going to be untouchable. Okay. I don't care what gender you are. If you're wearing this fragrance and you know how to bachata, or you know how to, you can just dance. You already got me stuttering and I can't even freaking see you. Okay. Like it's just, this is a very attractive fragrance. And what I love about it is it 100% like stays true to itself. It's not something that you smell that you're like, okay, this smells like it's kind of half-assed, right? Where it's trying to just be super mass appealing, where it completely has no identity. This is something that's very sure of its identity, and it's either you rock with it or you don't. And I really see this being the type of fragrance, though, that even when your average person were to smell it on you, they would love it. They would fall in love with the scent. And more so, even if somebody that was really into niche perfumery, if you are surrounded with people that are niche heads, that are very much, maybe even niche snobs, right? I think those people would have such an appreciation for this fragrance as well. Truly. I think it's rare for a scent to be able to please both sides of that Venn diagram, right? Like there's the people that are like, oh no, I just want something that's gonna smell good, and there's the people that are like, oh no, like I want to know everything about it. I want it to be unique. I want it to be bold. I want it to be something that nobody ever has. But when you have something that can make that cross, it's honestly what more do you want? Truly, what more do you want? This, of course, is not a fragrance that everybody's wearing, because for one, this is the first bottle of it. And before I post this video, I need to make sure that there's even bottles of this on the website. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no one's gonna be wearing this because it's a new fragrance. And also, this brand is severely underrated, in my opinion, okay? And I don't love on all their scents. You guys have seen the video that I made where I'm like, okay, yo, these I would not touch, right? But I just love that every single fragrance from this brand has a strong identity. And anybody that is a fragrance connoisseur or somebody that just loves fragrances, no matter if you're a beginner, you're advanced in this game, you will find something that you have deep appreciation for, and you will really, really love it. So ESCÁNDALO, again, there's a part of me that wants it to already overtake Bonnie, but I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just give it a couple days. But just how this is smelling in my sample right now, I smell freaking delicious. I am falling in love with myself right now while I'm talking in front of this camera. That sounds super narcissistic. I'm not a narcissist, all right? But I will post the YouTube short that I made, I think not talking about this fragrance, but when I first smelled it. So you guys can see my genuine reaction with it in case you haven't seen it after I post this video. But very, very, very satisfied and pleased and happy with how this fragrance turned out. I already loved it so much the first time I smelled it when it wasn't complete. But now that it's come to its full form, this is way better than I would have even imagined it to be. And I was already blown away. So that's like a big thing for me, at least for like memorability wise. This is not going to be a fragrance that you're going to smell and go, oh, okay, like there's so many that smell like that. On to the next one. It'll stick in your mind. Okay, it'll stick in your mind. All right, I gotta wrap up this video because I truly believe I could just sit here and just do this for literally having this camera recording for like an hour, just like smelling myself and just going, this is freaking good. Like, you know, a fragrance is good when you're like this, and all of a sudden you have to go back like this, and you're like, shit. All right, so I will probably do a full review with like the note breakdown of everything, but this video is me basically telling y'all exactly how I feel about this fragrance, because it's getting me right. And I don't even have enough words in this video to be as like thorough and concise of like, oh yeah guys, blah 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 blah. Like, it's really just, it's taking the words out of my mouth. So that's why I gotta cut this video right now, because it's like, what am I gonna, I'm just gonna babble and stutter in front of them for the next hour. You know what I'm saying? It's, bottom line, such a good fragrance. Sample it if you want to try it. Again, you want it for 15% off. Use my code Melissa for that. But buy where you're comfortable, y'all. Jesus Christ, I know I already did 3 sprays, but I'm gonna just do one more for, that's 6 sprays of this fragrance, and it's an extrait. Typically, I don't even spray that much of an extrait, but this is it. I want more. I want more of this smell. Okay, anyways, I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, take care. Bye.